أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So inshallah, let's discuss the practice sheet which I shared yesterday. Page 2 of the practice sheet, alhamdulillah, we discussed in yesterday's class. So inshallah, I will first go through page 1. And those of you who have alhamdulillah tried, inshallah, you'll see that now you will learn more, because once you have tried to solve yourself, inshallah, now definitely you can fix your mistakes and you can see that there was any gap in understanding. So I might be repeating few things from yesterday's topics because we did not record yesterday's class, and some people they missed it. So inshallah, it will be beneficial for all of us, because when we repeat things, inshallah, it is always beneficial. So someone's mic is not mute. Okay, so let's inshallah, without any further ado, start our page 1. So first sentence is khalaqallahu al-arda, or you can say khalaqallahu al-arda. Now khalaqa, I said yesterday repeatedly that this khalaqa is fail madi, and there are two ways I know it's fail madi. Obviously, one is vocabulary, which most of us do not have at this stage, and no problem, inshallah. We will build our vocabulary in level 2, inshallah. So that is one way of knowing that this is fail madi. Another way, which is very simple way of knowing, is that in case of fail madi, the starting sound, which is the ha, ah, and the ending sound, which is again on the ah. Khalaqa, ah sound in the start and ah sound in the end. This is a sign of fail madi. So khalaqa is fail madi, and it has the meaning of to create something. And because khalaqa is madi, so created. And as we know that every fail has a built-in hidden pronoun, and that pronoun plays the role of file or doer of the action. So inside of khalaqa, because khalaqa is number 1 in our madi chart, cell number 1, it has huwa or he as the doer. So he created. Khalaqa, he created. Allahu, I said this yesterday. Let me repeat it again. In Jumlatul Failiyah, and this is Jumlatul Failiyah. How do I know this? Because it is starting with the fail. If a jumla or sentence starts with fail, it's Jumlatul Failiyah. And if Jumlatul Failiyah has a ism in Rafa status, which is Allahu in this case, it is always the case that this ism will serve the role of file or doer, and because of this, the built-in doer is cancelled, which means khalaqa has a built-in he as the doer, and now because you have got this Allahu as the doer, now the built-in doer will be cancelled. Instead of saying he created, now you will say Allah created. Now look, Allah created what? I said yesterday that the information of what, why, where, when, how, and to who. One more time. In Jumlatul Failiyah, those words which give you the information about what, why, where, when, how, and to who. All of these words which give you this information, they are called maf'ul. Now, when you say Allah created, the question is Allah created what? The answer is al-arda, the earth. Al-arda, the earth. Allah created the earth. So because al-arda is answering the question of what, so al-arda will be maf'ul. That is one way. Another way is In Jumlatul Failiyah, if you get an ism in nasab status, this ism will always be your maf'ul. Al-arda is in nasab status. You can clearly see it has fatha ending. So al-arda will be maf'ul. So now khalaqa is fail. Allahu is the file. Al-arda is maf'ul. Allah created the earth. Any question about this sentence? Okay. Next one. Wa'adallahu al-mu'minina. If you join them, wa'adallahu al-mu'minina. Now, wa'ada, again same concept. Khalaqa, a sound in the start and a sound in the end. Wa'ada, a sound in the start, a means fatha sound or zabar sound. And fatha sound in the end. Wa'ada. Middle sound can change, but the starting sound and ending sound are always a in the case of fail madi. So wa'ada is fail madi. So it will be jumlatul fi'liya or verbal sentence. Why? Because it is starting with the fail. And wa'ada mean to make promise. Because wa'ada is fail madi, he promised. Where is he? He is the built-in pronoun inside of wa'ada, and wa'ada is number 1 in the madi chart. Let's move on. Allahu, again, in jumlatul fi'liya, you got an ism which is Allahu in rafa status. And the rule is, in jumlatul fi'liya, whenever you get an ism in rafa status, that ism becomes your file or doer, and because of this, the built-in doer is cancelled. So wa'ada, he promised. Because Allah who has become the doer, now you will say Allah promised. Allah promised what or to who? Al-mu'minina, to the believers. You remember I said before that the information for to who is always your maf'ul, and al-mu'minina will be your maf'ul. Another way will be al-mu'minina, ina. We know that ina sound, if you recall your Muslim chart for masculine, ina sound, mu'minina, muslimina, ina sound is in the plural column, and it could be nasab, it could be jar. In this case, it will be nasab. Why? Because it is playing the role of maf'ul, and maf'ul is always nasab. So Allah promised the believers. Wa'ada is fail madi. Allahu is the file or the doer. Al-mu'minina is the maf'ul. Any question about this second sentence? Okay. Next one was Nasara Hamidun Mahmudan. Now, Nasara is fail madi. Again, how do I know this? First of all, we have learned the complete Nasara chart, which was our example or the model chart for fail madi. And secondly, you can see that a sound in the start and a sound in the end is a sign of madi. And it has the meaning of helping someone. And because Nasara is madi and it is number 1 in the chart, it has a built-in he. Nasara, he helped. Now, Hamidun is obviously a ism. It's a name. And because this ism is in rafa status, Hamidun will become the doer or the file, and the built-in he will be cancelled. Nasara, he helped. But now you will say Hamid helped. Okay, Hamid helped who? Mahmudan. Hamid helped Mahmud. You see, because Mahmudan is giving you the answer for who. So Mahmudan will be maf'ul. And secondly, you can see that Mahmudan is in nasab status. And I said in the start that in Jumlatul Failiyah, whenever you get an ism in nasab status, that ism becomes your maf'ul. So Hamid helped Mahmud. Any question about this number 3 sentence? Okay. Number 4. Daraba Zaidun waladain. Daraba Zaidun waladain. Waladaini, if you complete it. Waladaini. Okay, now Daraba is fail madi for the same reason as I said before. Zaidun, again, ism in rafa status. This ism in rafa status will become the file or the doer, and the hidden pronoun will be cancelled. Now, waladaini, as you can see in the vocabulary part, waladun mean one boy. Waladaini, you see, aini, muslimaini, same pattern. Aini mean two boys. Zaid hit 2 boys. Now, Daraba is fail madi. Zaidun is file or doer. Waladaini is maf'ul. Why is waladaini maf'ul? Number 1, when you say that Zaid hit, the question is Zaid hit to who? And we know the information for to who is always your maf'ul. For this reason, waladaini is maf'ul. And second reason is because waladaini, aini, it is your pair column of the Muslim masculine chart. Aini could be nasab and could be jar. In this case, it is nasab. Why? Because it is playing the role of maf'ul. And maf'ul is always in nasab status. Sentence number 5. Qara'tu al-Qur'ana. Now, qara'tu. If you recall in your mind your Madi chart, there is only one cell in the Madi chart which has 2 ending, 2. And this is cell number 13, which means I. And qara'a mean recite. Qara'tu, I recited. Inside of qara'tu, there's a hidden pronoun, and that is I or ana. How do I know this? Because of this 2 ending. And we know that this 2 ending is in cell number 13, line number 5, cell number 13. And that has the built-in I or ana as the doer. Now, qara'tu, I recited. I recited what? You see, I recited what? And the information for what is always your maf'ul. Al-Qur'ana is in nasab status. It will be maf'ul. And secondly, because Al-Qur'ana is giving you the answer of what? So Al-Qur'ana will be maf'ul. So qara'tu is fail madi, and inside of qara'tu, ana or I is the file, and Al-Qur'ana is the maf'ul or object. Next sentence is sami'na. Now, actual word is sami'a, which is fail madi. Now, sami'na. When you look at sami'na, you should try to recall in your mind that what cell is sami'na. And this is cell number 14. The last cell of Madi chart is sami'na. Okay? And the last cell has the built-in pronoun we or nahnu. Inside of sami'na, nahnu is the built-in file. Sami'a mean he recited, but sami'na mean we recited. We recited what? Al-Qur'ana, the Quran. So Al-Qur'ana will become your maf'ul. Why? Number 1, because it is giving you the information of what. And second reason is Because al-Qur'ana is in nasab status. So sami'na is fail madi. Inside of sami'na, nahnu or we is the file or the doer. Al-Qur'ana is the maf'ul. We recited the Quran. Now, any of you, if have any question or anything is not clear to you with regard to all of these examples or any of these examples, please feel free to ask your questions.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam, Brother Hanif.
About the inside doer, brother. So if we found an ayah that have inside doer, so that means we look into the previous ayah. Is that the way we know who is the doer, brother?
I did not quite get your question.
So,
If you can quote me any ayah so I can understand your question.
no, I mean like it's actually on the next one, but it's like khalaqallahu or this one. When khalaqallahu, the fa'il is Allah.
In this one, number one?
Yes. Khalaqallahu, the fa'il is Allah. But
Yes.
If we found any case when there is no fa'il, we know that khalaqa means he created,
Yes.
or in this case it's Allah, but in the translation for the other, usually we know it's he, but how do we refer that he refers to, brother? So
Okay.
it's from the previous ayah, isn't
Okay.
it?
So I got your point, brother, for example, and I can understand your point now. You are right that, but you don't need to look what is before. For example, if this sentence was khalaqal arda, there was no word Allahu. Khalaqal arda. He created the earth. Khalaqa has a built-in he. Now, as far as what is the built-in pronoun, you do not need to see what is before it. Why? Because you know that khalaqa is number one in the chart. And how do I know this? Because khalaqa does not rhyme with any other cell of the Madi cha. It only rhymes with the cell number one. And in cell number one, the built-in pronoun is huwa or he. Now, obviously, I can see your point that this he is referring to who. For this reason, yes, you need to look who is the he in the context. But is it he or is it she or is it they? You can know this from the word by knowing the position of the word in the Madi chart. But what it is referring to, you are right, you need to look in the context.
Continuation, brother. But the reason why I asked this one, because we there is like some translation of the Quran that they translate not the whole ayah but per word, and
Yes.
some of the words translation is different between the per words and the other translation that the whole ayah. That's why
Okay.
I asked about that one.
But did you get the point what I said before?
Yes, brother.
Okay, now, inshallah, I would give you one suggestion. Inshallah, either you can quote me in tomorrow's class or you can ask me in the masjid when you see me. If you can show me any of the particular ayah, inshallah, I'll explain for you that.
Okay, inshallah, I'll find it, inshallah.
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 Wayyaka wa Hanif. So, any other question from anybody else?
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam, brother.
Yeah, my question is regarding the order of this Jumlatul Failure, because we have seen that there's like a particular order that we have a Failure Madi first and then Fa'il and then Maf'ul. In Arabic, I just want to know that can we change the position of the Failure Madi and then Fa'il and Maf'ul?
Yes.
If we can change, then what's the difference between the meaning?
Okay, very good question. So, first of all, yes, the standard order of Jumlatul Failiya, it does not matter either based on Fail Madi or based on Fail Mudare. The standard order is first of all Fail, then Fa'il, and then Maf'ul, and then Muta'alliq bil Fail. These are the four parts if you recall. Now, can this order be changed? The answer is yes. Okay, what happened when the order is changed? The answer is it adds to the meaning. For example, sometimes it makes the jumla or sentence emphatic. Inshallah, this point will be more clear to you when we start, inshallah, in our level 2 analysis of the surahs. That when you see that the order is changing and how meanings are added, for now, the simple answer is yes, order can be changed, and yes, it does add into meanings.
Okay. Yeah, Jazakallah, brother.
Right, yeah.
Assalamualaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam, sister.
Sorry, this is just unrelated. Can you tell me when is the certificate completion ceremony will be? Is it tomorrow night?
Inshallah, sister. No. Next week, inshallah. Next week.
Next Tuesday?
Inshallah,
or-
next week, inshallah, on Tuesday. And the reason is because on Wednesday the classrooms are not available. Otherwise, I could have made it on Wednesday, but because on Wednesdays classrooms are not available, for this reason, inshallah, the ceremony will be next week on Tuesday.
Okay, just a minute.
So does that, Assalamu alaikum, brother, does that mean the test is before that?
No, sister. Inshallah, test will be after that. Inshallah, on Tuesday, inshallah, we'll inshallah award the certificates to all the participants of the course. And then inshallah, once I know that how many of you are inshallah willing to sit for the exam, then inshallah I will announce the date or the day of the exam, inshallah.
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
Right, yeah.
Brother, sitting for the exam is a condition for the next level?
No. It is, like I said last week, that if you sit in the exam and you pass the exam, you will get an extra certificate of completion of level 1. But if you only do the course, then you will get the certificate of participation. And secondly, obviously, the reason I gave these two options is because some people do want to sit in the exam, and if they sit in the exam, they should be acknowledged by giving them an extra certificate, inshallah. But in order to move to level 2, it's not the condition. Okay, no more questions. So now, after this one, we have this second question. This one, I will not go into this one because if you have understood this part, this is exactly the same thing. I only explain one point, and that is this one. Sentence number 3. Ba'asahu ila fir'auna. Now, ba'asa is fail madi. And then who is the attached pronoun. Now, we know that the attached pronoun can be attached with different words. In this particular case, the pronoun who is attached with the fail. And I said yesterday, I repeat it again, whenever in Jumlatul Fi'liya, pronoun is attached with the fail, that pronoun becomes your maf'ul or object. Now, ba'asa mean he raised or he appointed. He appointed who? Him. Because who is the meaning of him? Who is the attached version of huwa? Because pronouns have two versions, independent and attached. Huwa is the independent form, which means he. And who is the attached form of huwa? And who mean him, or it could mean his. Sometimes it mean him and sometimes it mean his. And huwa mean he. Now basa, he raised or he appointed. The question is, he appointed to who or to what? He appointed him. So who will be the pronoun attached with the fail, and who will be called maf'ul? He appointed or he raised him. Ila is a preposition. Fir'auna will be majroor. Ila fir'auna together is a prepositional phrase, or we call it murakkab jari. Ila mean towards. Fir'auna mean Fir'aun. Towards Fir'aun. He appointed or he raised him towards Fir'aun. So basa is a fail. Inside of basa, he is the file, and who part is the maf'ul part, and ila fir'auna is the jar majroor or prepositional phrase. And ila fir'auna will be called muta'alliq bil fail. If it was jumla ismiya, we call muta'alliq bil khabar. Because it is jumlatul failiya, now this will be called muta'alliq bil fail. So he raised him towards Fir'aun. The only reason I explain this sentence is just to tell you that if you see an attached pronoun with the fail, this attached pronoun will be called maf'ul. If you have any question, inshallah, you can ask. Otherwise, inshallah, we are done for today's class. And the last question was this one. And this question is basically that you need to construct the same Madi chart as we have learned for Nasara. You need to construct the same chart, but using, for example, Shariba, Qara'a, Dahika, same Madi chart, but instead of using the example of Nasara, you use these words. And secondly, then you need to randomly tell me that if it is whom, what number is whom in the chart? Whom is number 3 in the chart in the first line. So qara'a, qara'a, qara'u. So whom, qara'u. Hunna is number 6 in the chart. Hunna qara'na. Hunna qara'na. And antum. Antum is number 9 in the chart. All of you. So qara'tum. In this way, you first try to just recite the whole chart by using these words. For example, if I make the whole chart for akhaza, it will be akhaza, akhaza, akhazu, akhazat, akhazata, akhazna, akhazta, akhaztuma, akhaztum, akhazti, akhaztuma, akhaztunna, akhaztu, akhazna. In this way, I made the whole Madi chart, but instead of using Nasara, I use Akhaza. In this way, please, 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 all of you practice for the Madi chart by using these words. Any question?
Last question, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother.
Regarding the qara'a, brother, when we write the hamza with the sukun, let's like qara'na, do we add the alif or just the hamza?
At this alif, there will be sukun, qara'na, sukun on the alif, and then na.
So we need to write the alif and then the hamza and then the sukun.
No. This alif, brother, this alif, instead of giving it fatha, you give it sukun.
Oh, so we read qara'na.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jazakallah khair, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum
Sorry,
salam.
just a quick question. Well, with the example that you just did earlier, that is basahu ila fir'auna, that one, the who, which is maf'ul, is it in nasab status?
Yes, sister. Yes, good question. Remember this point. That's a very good question. And please, all of you, please pay attention. When it comes to the pronouns, we do not recognize the status of pronoun by looking at the haraka. Don't look at the haraka. In case of pronoun, we have one principle, and it is given in module 1. All the independent pronouns, they are rafa. And all the attached pronouns, they could be nasab, they could be jar. For example, who could be nasab, it could be jar. You need to see, for example, if I say min who, now because min is a preposition, in this case, who will be in jar status. But in this case, abasahu, because who is playing the role of maf'ul, so here I say that who is in nasab status. How do I know? You need to see that what is before the attached pronoun. If it was min, because min is a preposition, and the job of preposition is it makes the word next to it into jar status. Who will remain always who? The haraka will not change. What will define the status is what is attached with. Is that clear?
Yes, Jazakallah khair, brother.
Okay, inshallah, we'll see you all tomorrow. And please try this practice sheet. And inshallah, if you have any questions, ask me tomorrow as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.